sentence. The sentence is death. Death. So be it. May the God you pray to have mercy on your soul.
In our endeavors to recall to memory something long forgotten, we often find ourselves on the very brink of remembering. And yet sometimes, long forgotten memories often return without the slightest provocation. Upon hearing these words, I swooned. And yet, all is not lost. Even in the grave, immortality is never lost. Amid frequent endeavors to remember my trial. Where am I? There have been brief moments when I've had success. Why will no one come? These shadows of memory tell of tall figures that lifted me up and bore me away in silence. What business do I have being here? Carrying me down into a dungeon vault. Down. Still down. Where are my friends in my time of need? After this, I recall to mind flatness and dampness, and then all its madness. Madness! Of a memory which busies itself among forgotten things. And then a rushing revival of soul. By what rights do you hold me? And a full memory of the trial, of the judges, of the sentence of the dread Inquisition. Where there is life, there is hope. Condemned to perish at the auto da fe, and mine had been scheduled on the very night of my trial. Victims had always been in immediate demand. I'm not dead. Yet. Let us see where we are. A wall! But forged of heavy iron. But what size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This process afforded me no means of ascertaining the dimensions of my dungeon. However, in my search, food, water. Shortly thereafter, I resumed my tour. "46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Curious, but how far across? My kind fortune's favor, what is this? The peculiar smell of decayed fungus arose to my nostrils. I put forward my arm and shuddered to find that I had fallen upon the very brink of a pit. An abyss! To the victims of the Inquisition's tyranny, there was a choice of death, either with its direst physical agonies or with its hideous moral horrors. I had been reserved for the latter. Suffering the agonies of the trial, my nerves had been unstrung. So, this is to be my torture. The unknown. I fear death has no place at its depth. The room is spinning. Why is my head foggy? Dizzy. I feel the bread. A deep sleep fell upon me. How long it lasted, I know not. However, when I opened my eyes, the walls of the vault around me were visible. The walls were made of iron plates, faced with eyeless skulls and skeletons about the whole of its border. I was lying down. I cannot move! Lord, deliver me! What torture is to follow now? Ah, meat! Salty! No water! And the smell! Bound hand and foot, I looked upward and regarded the painted ceiling high above me. Hello, Death! Why do you carry a clock pendulum instead of your usual sight? Come to tell me of my remaining minutes? A slight noise attracted my notice, and I looked to the floor. Rats. Enormous rats from the depths of the pit. Am I to be eaten alive? A sudden mechanical noise sounded from above me. The pendulum. It's swinging, descending, sharp. Saved from the pit to be cleaved by a sharpened blade. I could no longer doubt the doom prepared for me by monkish ingenuity. Inch by inch, line by line, with a descent only appreciable at intervals that seemed ages. Down, still down it came. I wearied heaven with my prayers for its more speedy descent. For the love of God, drop! Finish me! Down, certainly down it came. To the right, to the left, far and wide, with the shriek of a damned spirit. I must stop its swing. Might as well arrest an avalanche. Down, certainly relentlessly down it came. It vibrated within inches of my bosom. Stay the course! Cut through this mortal shell and cross my beating heart! Cut through. There rushed to my mind a fleeting thought of joy, of hope. The meat, the rats, will these foul creatures be my saviors? I struggled for the remaining meat and rubbed it into my bonds wherever I could reach. Now, I must lie still. At first, the ravenous animals were startled, terrified at the change, at the cessation of my movement. Fighting, clawing. But this was only for a moment. I had not counted upon their veracity. They come off me! In the depths of the wells, they hurried with fresh truth, and leaped in the hundreds upon my person. They busied themselves with the anointed bandages. Ever since the loosening of the bandage, it's been severed in several places. Just a moment longer, just a moment more! I had not erred in my calculations. Nor had I endured in vain. The ropes parted. Free! I'm free! No sooner had I rolled from my bed of hell to the stone floor that I beheld the hellish machine ceased, and I beheld it drawn up. Bastards! Oh, you bastards! You could have stopped at any time! My every move had undoubtedly been watched. I had been delivered from one form of death and delivered to another. Villains! What torture have you in store now? That's 2 deaths denied! I'm still here! Suddenly, a deep red glow arose from all around me. Hot. Why is it so hot? There rose to my nostrils the stench of heated iron. My God, a suffocating odor pervaded the prison. They're heating the walls! The heat rapidly intensified. The inquisitorial vengeance had been hurried by my twofold escape, and there was to be no more dallying with the King of Terrors. Burned alive! Had been square. I'll be burned alive! The walls! Moving towards me! The walls of the vault closed in, pushing me towards its deadly finale. Bring me another death! Any death but that of the pit! I struggled no more and prepared to fall. There was a discordant hum of human voices. There was a loud blast as of many trumpets. There was a harsh grating as of 1,000 thunders. The fiery walls suddenly cooled. Voices in my native tongue. And Usher caught my own as I fell fainting towards the abyss.
It was that of a savior, General LaSalle. The French army had entered Toledo. The Inquisition was in the hands of its enemies. Take this kiss upon the brow. And in parting from you now, thus, much let me avow. That you are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. If hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore. And I hold in my hand grains of the golden sand, how few. Yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep. While I weep. While I weep. Oh God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?
Mr. Poe, up and about, I see.
I am.
It's after midnight.
What day is it?
You've been asleep almost a full day.
Then it is only the 7th. I thought longer.
No, not this time. Your temperature is down. You gave me quite a fright.
They who dream by day are cognizant of many things. Just gave those who dream only by night. So often these dreams carry me from loved ones, family, and even new friends. Sometimes these dreams turn into nightmares. I am sorry.
Pay it no mind, sir. I've seen far worse in the wards.
I have a history which requires temperance. I wish you had not seen me in such a state.
Again, sir, it is my job to see to your health.
But still, I am sorry. You have been most kind.
A new friend indeed. But what of your old friends, Mr. Poe?
Call me Edgar.
I should think not, sir. Formality with a patient.
I'm more than patient, wouldn't you say?
Mr. Poe.
Quite a patient if one were to live my demeanor, Eliza.
Goodness, you must be feeling better. You could charm the devil himself with such wit.
2 wits, and yet I have words only for you.
You double the meaning of your words, making them false.
And if I were to give you my singular attention?
Then you have lost your wit, and why should I suffer the singular attentions of a fool?
I have great faith in fools. My friends call it self-confidence.
Mr. Poe, this is a hospital, not a common brothel.
Cannot men gain their rest in both?
The rest is granted in one, but gained in the other only with the proper coin.
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, but only when you are able to seize her.
You twist both your words and your meaning, you madman.
I was never really insane except upon occasions when my heart was touched.
Touched indeed. I think I liked you more when you were raving.
You see to my health, both mind and body?
Yes, that is my charge.
Well, mind and body are most at ease with friends. And my friends call me Edgar.
Perhaps. Mr. Poe, perhaps.
Woman, you are tiresome. And I'm tired.
Not to belabor a question, but what of your friends?
What of them?
You spoke of others as if your fever raged earlier, Mr. Rufus, I believe?
The Reverend Rufus Griswold. And he is no friend. He and I have a rather long-standing feud.
To what end?
To vilify a great man is the easiest way in which a little man can himself attain greatness. Old Rufus possesses all the finest qualities a true artist should lack. He is dogmatic, pretentious, and vindictive.
Why does he bear you such ill will?
A woman.
Your wife?
No.
Don't be coy now, Mr. Poe. Mind and body. Tell me. I can see your burden wears on you like a heavy coat.
There were others after my wife.
Others.
I do not wish to trouble your kind nature further.
As in more than one other.
One above all. Most who I have courted since Virginia's death matter little.
I should think it matters to them.
Eliza, My first love was my writing. No woman, save my wife and one other Agnes Spark I was searching for. I once had.
The artist and his muse. Who was she? After your wife, I mean.
Frances Osgood. I once wrote that she had a rosy future in literature. Fanny was and is a poet of excellent reputation in New England.
Reputation indeed.
A good friend. Nothing more. We exchanged letters, some poetry and prose. It was all very harmless. Virginia had actually approved of her and encouraged our friendship at the end. She felt that Fanny had a calming and stabilizing influence. They were both very much like you in character and feature. Fanny remains one of the more popular writers of our age.
So what happened?
Fanny and her husband had separated but never divorced. Rufus, an editor in Boston, received word of our friendship through mutual acquaintances. It angered him that I had questioned his motives and choices of a poetry anthology he had published some years ago.
Publicly?
In writing, no less.
Oh, fine.
It further enraged him that Fanny and I were now corresponding with one another. He has not let the matter rest to this day, even though Fanny is again with her husband.
People do love a good scandal.
Yes. But beware the fury of a patient hand.
The 1,000 injuries of Fortunado I had borne as I best could. But when he ventured upon insult, I vowed revenge. You, who so well know the nature of my soul, will not suppose, however, that I gave utterance to a threat. At length I would be avenged. I must not only punish, but punish with impunity. It must be understood that neither by word nor deed had I given Fortunato cause to doubt my goodwill. I continued, as was my wont, to smile in his face. And he did not perceive that my smile now was at the thought of his immolation. He had a weak point, this Fortunado. Though in other regards he was a man to be respected and even feared. He prided himself on his connoisseurship in wine. A few Italians have the true virtuoso spirit. But for the most part, their enthusiasm is adopted to suit the time and opportunity to practice imposture upon the British and Austrian millionaires. In painting and generally, Fortunato, like his countrymen, was a quack. But in the matter of old wine, he was sincere. In this respect, I did not differ from him materially. I was skillful in the Italian vintages myself, and bought largely whenever I could. It was about dusk one evening during the supreme madness of the carnival season that I encountered my friend.
Oh, Michael, you're cold, dear. Come home quickly.
I will, my love. How do you fare this glorious evening, my friend?
My dear Fortunato, you are fortunately met. Oh, how remarkably well you are looking today. But I have received a pipe of what passes for Amontillado, and I have my doubts.
How? Amontillado? A pipe? Impossible. And in the middle of the carnival.
I have my doubts, and I was silly enough to pay the full Amontillado price without consulting you in the matter. You were not to be found, and I was fearful of losing a bargain.
Amontillado.
I have my doubts,
Amontillado.
and I must satisfy them.
Amontillado.
As you are engaged, I am on my way to look crazy. If anyone has a critical turn, it is he. He will tell me.
Gracie cannot tell Amontillado
And yet some fools will have it that his taste is a match for your own.
Come, let us go.
Whither?
To your vaults.
My friend, no. I perceive you have an engagement. Lucrezi.
Enough. I have no engagement.
My
Come.
friend, no, it is not the engagement, but the severe cold with which I perceive that you are afflicted. The vaults are insufferably damp. They are encrusted with niter.
Let us go nevertheless. The cough is merely nothing. Amontillado, you have been imposed upon.
And as for Lucrezi,
You cannot distinguish sharing from Amontillado.
Thus speaking, Fortunado possessed himself of my arm, and I suffered him to lead me to my palazzo. There were no attendants at home. They absconded to make merry in honor of the time. I had told them that I should not return until morning, and had given them explicit orders they were not to stir from the house. These orders were sufficient, I well knew, to ensure their immediate disappearance, one and all, as soon as my back was turned.
Where's this cask of Amontillado?
Below, in my vaults, follow this way. Be careful, my friend, and find your footing as we descend. Here is the darkest part, my friend. Welcome to the catacombs of the Montressors.
What?
It is farther on. But behold, the white webwork which gleams from these cavern walls.
Niter?
How long have you had this cloth?
it is nothing.
Come, we will go back. Your health is precious. You are rich, respected, admired, beloved. You are happy. As once I was. You are a man to be missed. For me, it is no matter. We will go back. You will be ill, and I cannot be responsible. Besides, there is Lucrezi.
Enough! The cough is merely nothing. It will not kill me. I will not die of a cough.
True. True. And indeed, I had no intention of alarming you unnecessarily, but you should use all proper precaution. Come, a draught of this Madonna will defend us from the damps. Drink.
I drink to the buried that repose around us.
And I to your long life.
My thanks.
What was that again?
You do not comprehend?
Not I.
Then you are not of the Brotherhood.
How?
You are not of the Masons.
Yes, I am.
A Mason? Impossible.
A Mason.
Aside.
It is this.
You jest. Let us proceed to the Amontillado.
Be it so.
These vaults are extensive.
The Montressors were a great and numerous family.
I forget your arms.
A huge human foot d'or in a field azure. The foot crushes a serpent rampant whose fangs are embedded in the heel.
And the motto?
Nemo me impune lacessit. No one provokes me with impunity.
Good.
Niter, see, it increases. It hangs like moths upon the vaults. We are below the river's bed. Drops of moisture trickle among the bones. Come, we will go back. There it is too late to cough.
Enough. Let us go on. But first, another draught of medic. And let us proceed to the Amontillado.
Be it so. Here is the Amontillado. As for
He is an
Lucrezi,
ignoramus.
I followed immediately on his heels. In an instant, he had reached the extremity of the niche, and finding his progress arrested by the rock, he stood stupidly bewildered.
Where is the cask?
A moment more, and I had fettered him to the granite, throwing the links about his waist. It was but the work of a few seconds to secure it. He was too much astounded to resist. Withdrawing the key, I stepped back from the recess.
What is the meaning of this, Montressor?
Pass your hands over the wall. You cannot help feeling the night air. Indeed, it is very damp. Once more, let me implore you to return. No? Then I must positively leave you. But I must first render you all the little attentions in my power.
The Amontillado.
True! The Amontillado. As I said these words, I busied myself among the piles of bones. Throwing them aside, I uncovered a quantity of building stone and mortar. Using these materials, I began quickly to wall up the entrance to the niche. I had scarcely laid the first tier of mortar when I discovered that the intoxication of Fortunado had in a great measure worn off.
Oh, God.
It was not the cry of a drunken man. There followed then a long and obstinate silence. I laid the second tier, and the third, and the fourth.
Let me out!
The noise continued for several minutes, during which, that I might hearken to it with the more satisfaction, I ceased my labors and sat down among the bones. When at last the clanking subsided, I resumed and finished without interruption the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh tier. The wall was now nearly upon a level with my breast.
Help! Help me! Someone! Please!
For a
help
brief
me!
moment I hesitated, but the thought of an instant reassured me.
Oh, no! Please help! Please, why are you doing this? What are you doing?
Why are you doing this? It was now midnight, and my task was drawing to a close. I laid the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th tier. I had finished a portion of the final tier. There remained but a single stone to be plastered and fitted in. I placed it partially in its destined position, but now there arose from out the niche a low laugh that erected the hairs on the back of my neck.
What a good joke! An excellent jest! Oh, I shall have many a rich laugh about it at the palazzo. Over wine!
Yes, the Amontillado.
Oh, but is it not getting late? Will they not be expecting us at the palazzo, Lady Fortunado and the rest? Oh, let us be gone.
Yes, let us be gone.
For the love of God, Montressor!
Yes, for the love of God. I fixed the last stone into its position. I plastered it up for the half a century. No mortal has disturbed them. In pace requisat. Rest in peace.
You have quite a way with words, Mr. Poe. Revenge never looked quite so good, or so horrid.
Oh, believe me, my dear, it is nothing that old Griswold doesn't justly deserve. His nickname in certain literary circles in New England is the Grand Turk.
Why do people call him that?
I'm not sure. For the harem of female poets he promotes? Probably because he is just as shrewd and twice as mean as any camel's raider in Arabia. It is a title he has well earned, not just for me, but by many others who have had the unfortunate occasion to cross him.
Well, in my humble opinion, it seems as though you've made an immortal mark upon the man, even if he never knows the stories about him.
That is just as well. Old Griswold still would not understand. Eliza, I must thank you
For what?
for listening and not just hearing, and by listening, helping heal.
It was a pleasure to have met you and to hear your stories. I wonder what I would have paid to hear you speak in public.
Oh, I'll be sure to send you my bill.
You truly are mad.
You all right?
I'm right as rain.
Why look you so pale?
It is just this ill life.
Then look at me. Tell me what is wrong.
Nothing. It is nothing.
Then show me.
No.
Eliza! Consumption. Why? 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 Why, her Lord? In your infinite wisdom, why? What did she do to show me kindness? What have I done that all around me will suffer this plague? Why has this Red Death haunted me all of my days? The Red Death had long devastated the country. No pestilence had ever been so fatal or so hideous. Blood was its avatar and its seal. There were sharp pains and sudden dizziness, and then profuse bleeding at the pores. The scarlet stains, especially upon the face of the victim with the bane, would shut him out from the aid and from the sympathy of his fellow men. And the whole seizure, progress and termination of the disease were the incidents at half an hour. But the Prince Prospero was happy and dauntless.
It has been told to me that half of my dominion has been depopulated by this plague. Come, friends, there's nothing to be done. There's no prayer, no medicine that can stop this plague.
He had summoned to his presence 1,000 pale and light-hearted friends from among the knights and dames of his court.
Yes, this will do nicely. This abbey is an extensive and magnificent structure, well intended for our purposes. It is a product of my eccentric and august taste. And a tall and lofty wall encircles it with walls of iron.
Is it well provisioned, my lord?
Yes, and what of entertainment,
My lord.
Oh, I have provided all the appliances of pleasure.
Sire, buffoons will have improvisators. Yes, we will have ballet dancers. We'll have musicians.
Pardon, my lord, but...
Yes, my friend, of course there will always be one!
Thank God.
And your majesty's hospitality. Yes, let there be beauty. In the meantime, it is a folly to grieve or to think. Come, friends, let us enter and shut the gates against this dread disease. Call for fires, weld the bolts. The external world can care for itself. All this and security is within. Without is the Red Death.
While the pestilence raged most furiously abroad, Prince Prospero entertained his 1,000 guests at a masked ball of the most unusual magnificence.
Prepare the imperial suite. I am sure it will please His Majesty to have the mask within these rooms.
The rooms are so irregularly disposed that my vision embraces but little more than one at a time.
Yes, there is a sharp turn every 20 or 30 yards, and at every turn a narrow Gothic window that looks out over the main corridor.
Division, the windows of stained glass vary in accordance with the prevailing view of each chamber.
In the east is onion blue.
And vividly blue are its windows. The second chamber is purple in its ornaments and tapestries.
Its panels are also purple.
The third is green throughout, and so are the casements. The fourth is furnished in light with orange, the fifth with white.
The sixth in violet. And the seventh is shrouded in black.
Ooh!
But in the black chamber, the colors of the windows fail to correspond with the decorations. The panes here were scarlet, a deep blood color. Now, in no one of the 7 apartments was there any lamp or candelabrum, but in the corridors opposite to each window stood a heavy tripod of fire that projected its rays through the tinted glass, glaringly illumined each room.
My friends! Look at what a multitude of gorgeous, fantastic appearances!
But in the black chamber, the effect of the firelight that streamed upon the dark hangings through the blood-tinted panes, ghastly in the extreme.
Strange, there seem to be few of the company brave enough to set foot in its precincts at all.
In this last apartment, there stood a gigantic clock of ebony. Its pendulum swung to and fro with a dull, heavy, monotonous clang. When the hour was stricken, the musicians of the orchestra were constrained to pause in their performance, to hearken to the sound.
Why has the music stopped?
While the chimes of the clock yet rang, it was observed that even the giddiest grew pale. But when the echoes had fully ceased,
How foolish they all are! Musicians, play on!
the musicians looked at one another and smiled at their folly and made whispering vows that the next chiming of the clock should produce no similar emotion. But after the lapse of 60 minutes, there was the same silence and disconcert as before. But in spite of these things,
It is a gay and magnificent revel. Oh, yes, there is much that is beautiful. The Duke's tastes are so peculiar. Much that is wonderful.
He has an eye for effects and colors.
Much that is bizarre.
His plans are bold and fiery.
Something of the terrible.
His conceptions glow with barbaric luster.
And not a little of that which may incite disgust.
and the revel went on until at length there commenced the sounding of midnight upon the clock. Now there were 12 strokes to be sounded.
Midnight.
A long meditation and silence fell over the whole of the assembled company. Before the last echoes of the last chime had utterly sunk into silence, there were many that became aware of the presence of a masked figure. And there arose from the whole company a murmur, first of surprise, then of terror, of horror, and of disgust.
The masquerade license of the night is nearly unlimited, but
Whoever it be has out-Heroded Herod.
And has gone even your majesty's indefinite decorum.
who dares, tall and gaunt, shrouded in the clothing of the grave,
All of his features are besprinkled with this scarlet horror.
Who dares insult us with this blasphemous mockery?
as the visage of the Red Death?
Ah,
Seize him and unmask him so that we may know whom to hang at sunrise from the battlements.
It was in the blue chamber where stood the prince, with a group of pale courtiers by his side. The vast assembly, as if with one impulse, shrank from the centers of the rooms to the walls. The mummer made his way uninterruptedly, but with the same solemn and measured step which had distinguished him from the first. Through the blue chamber to the purple, through the purple to the green, through the green to the orange, through this again to the white, and even thence to the violet, and even then into the red.
I learned this, and I will see you dead. Follow me, you treasonous slough. Oh, God. Oh, my liege! The prince is fallen! Oh, no, my liege. The prince is dead! Seize the intruder!
Seize him!
What?
Seize him!
Empty! There's no one at all. No one but the Red Devil!
And now is acknowledged the presence of the Red Death. He had come like a thief in the night, and one by one dropped the revelers in the blood-bedewed halls of their revel. Died each in the despairing posture of his fall. And the life of the ebony clock went out with the last of the company. And the flames of the tripods expired. In darkness, in decay, and the Red Death held the illimitable dominion over all. What is this place? This is not the hospital. Strange that I should find myself alone among the dead. It is possible that I have finally gone mad. I'm not Reyne. There's a familiar feeling here that I cannot place. I've been here before. Yet I do not sense a feel of loss. But of a new beginning. In a dream within a dream, perhaps. Or a nightmare within a nightmare. Perhaps it is madness that stirs within me. Something almost immortal. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore,
While I nodded, nearly napping,
Suddenly I heard a tapping.
As of someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
"'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
Distinctly I remember it was in late December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost on the floor.
Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow,
sorrow for the lost Lenore.
the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore.
And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain
Thrilled me.
Filled me.
with fantastic terrors never felt before.
So that now,
to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating.
"'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more.
presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer.
Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door that I scarce was sure I heard you."
Here I opened wide the door.
Darkness there, and nothing more.
Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there,
Wondering, fearing,
Doubting, dreaming,
dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before.
But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token.
and the only word there spoken was the whispered word.
Lenore,
Lenore.
the This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this and nothing more.
Back into the chamber turning.
All my soul within me burning.
Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before.
Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more.
Open wide I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore.
Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door.
Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. Perched and sat, and nothing more.
Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance he wore.
Though thy crest be shorn and shaven now, I said I'll show no craven. Ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore, tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore.
Quoth the raven,
Nevermore. Much I marvel this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevance bore.
For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being
Ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as
Nevermore. And the raven sitting lonely on that placid bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered.
other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said,
Nevermore.
Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken.
doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store. Cough from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never more.
But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door.
And upon the velvet sinking I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim,
ungainly,
ghastly, gaunt,
And ominous bird of yore.
meant in croaking, nevermore.
this I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, for the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core.
this and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er. But whose cushioned velvet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor.
Wretch, I cried, thy God had lent thee by these angels, he had sent thee respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore.
Quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempest sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly I implore, is there balm in Gilead, tell me I implore.
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore.
Quoth the raven,
Nevermore! Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend! I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest in the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart. And take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
and the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door.
And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming. And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted.
Nevermore.
You remain to keep me company?
Yes,
Eliza?
yes, and no.
Do my eyes deceive me? Or you not expect to come to haunt me?
What does your heart tell you, Edgar?
It is not possible, Virginia.
Yes, my darling, darling husband. It is I, your loving wife.
But how?
A promise is a promise, my love.
I don't understand.
To be your guardian angel, and I keep my promises.
Am I truly mad?
No, beloved, you are not mad.
How is this not madness?
No, there's no madness, dearest. Merely a change in perception.
In the hospital.
You have been there for several days. You never regained consciousness.
How is this all possible?
Through hope and love, Edgar, they have carried you back to me.
Lord, help my poor soul.
With my help, he has. None of what is past is real, just old memories and dreams within dreams. I've come to bring you home. Come, Edgar. Your immortality awaits.